wrongful convictions are real, okay? And when they happen, innocent people get sent to prison. We have an imperfect system with inherent flaws that can lead to a certain degree of unreliability of the evidence that's used in criminal trials. This can stem from honest errors, perhaps sloppy police work, sloppy prosecutor work, sloppy defense lawyer work, or even deliberate wrongdoing by various players in the justice system. Here are some of the most common systemic flaws that can lead to wrongful convictions. We have mistaken eyewitness identification, which I've talked about here on the show before. People who say they saw the crime or they think they did, they may point the finger at the wrong problem or the wrong person. This is very common because human memory is not perfect. Things like stress, poor lighting, distance, or even subtle suggestions from law enforcement or others, perhaps in a lineup, that can mess it up. And for example, someone might swear they saw you commit the crime, but in reality, it was someone else, and you could become a victim of mistaken identity. And then we have faulty or misleading forensic evidence. This is the CSI stuff that, contrary to what you might hear, can in fact go wrong. DNA evidence is rarely wrong when it's used right, but there can be problems with how it's collected and otherwise analyzed. Fingerprints. And one thing that's a big problem is bite marks. Bite marks used to be, welcome in the criminal justice world, and juries would convict people on the basis of bite marks, which have now been completely discredited. They call it forensic odontology. It's just been completely discredited. So these are the types of things that can bring unreliable, sometimes allegedly scientific evidence into a courtroom that can lead to wrongful convictions. And then, of course, we have things like false confessions, something else we've talked about. Sometimes innocent people will admit to crimes that they didn't do, and it's sometimes under conditions like intense pressure, long interrogation, threats, promises of leniency. This hits vulnerable people pretty hard. Kids, people with mental health issues, or anyone who's just exhausted or even scared. Shockingly, over a quarter of DNA exonerated cases have involved fake or false confessions. We have unreliable informant testimony. We saw some jailhouse snitches in the Donna Adelson trial that we covered here on the show. And we've talked about this. Jailhouse snitches or other witnesses sometimes lie, and sometimes they exaggerate because they want to get a deal. They want to get a reduced sentence. They might claim you confessed when maybe you didn't. And sometimes they just make things up for their own personal gains. And juries, unfortunately, sometimes buy this garbage without much scrutiny, and prosecutors put it up.